Welcome back, everyone. This is Miles Per Hour, and today I want to discuss a psychedelic stock. Now, the last video I did on a psychedelic stock was MindMed. This time, however, I want to talk about a different psychedelic research company called Compass Pathways, ticker symbol CMPS. So, compared to other psychedelic research companies like MindMed, Compass Pathways is a more established company. It currently trades at around the $40 price range at the time of recording this video, and has a slightly larger market cap when compared to MindMed. So in this video, I'm going to go over why you might want to add Compass Pathways to your portfolio, and some things to consider before investing in them, including their financials. So Compass Pathways is actually a company that is backed by Peter Thiel, known as the co-founder of Palantir, and I believe he owns roughly 7% of this company. Compass Pathways is a research company that seeks to solve mental health problems like depression through the use of psilocybin, the active ingredient in magic mushrooms, and more specifically, helping people struggling with depression who have tried previous, more conventional treatments that haven't worked for them. So I think the main question someone should ask themselves before investing in a stock like this is, do you see value in a company looking to solve biochemical deficiencies in humans? Personally, I think so. I think now more than ever, depression has become incredibly common in modern society, and I think to get a better appreciation of what this company is actually aiming to do, you have to look at the previous types of conventional medicines used to treat depression, called antidepressants, which are commonly referred to as SSRIs, or selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors. SSRIs treat depression by increasing levels of serotonin in the brain. Serotonin being one of the neurotransmitters that carries signals in the brain that is responsible for mood, sleep, and appetite. SSRIs block the reabsorption or reuptake of serotonin into neurons. This, in theory, makes serotonin more available to improve transmission of messages between neurons. SSRIs are called selective because they mainly affect serotonin and not any other neurotransmitters. Now, while SSRIs do seem to work for a lot of people, being that everyone's brain is different, they don't work for everyone. And on top of that, even if these SSRIs do end up working, a lot of people report some really nasty and unpleasant side effects, one of which being a dampened emotional response to all stimuli, which you can kind of think of like a brain fog over your emotions. So this is where Compass Pathways comes in. They essentially studied the chemical structure of psilocybin, and from that, they created their own synthetic version of psilocybin with a few molecular changes to the original structure to form their own version of the chemical, which they call COMP360. This is a drug that is intended to be administered in conjunction with psychological support that the company will also provide. So you can kind of think of this like a drug plus a therapy session. And honestly, I think it's just cool to see a shift in sentiment in psychedelic drugs. I mean, these are compounds that are still legal for recreational use in a lot of the world, and yet here we are exploring these compounds as treatments for mental health. Psilocybin has even been granted, and I quote, a breakthrough therapy from the FDA, indicating the agency now believes the substance may offer a significant improvement over existing treatments. So here's what actually happens in Compass Pathways. The patient and the therapist start building a relationship to get to know each other and build trust. When the time comes for the actual administration of the compound, the patient gets to lie down in a comfortable bed and takes a capsule of the psilocybin analog, COMP360, where essentially they just get to chill out and listen to a music playlist with an eye mask over their eyes to help them focus internally. The therapist stays with them for the entire session and helps guide them through their journey for 6 to 8 hours. Patients are then encouraged to discuss their experiences of the psilocybin session. The goal is for the patients, with the guidance of the therapist, to generate their own insights and ideas from their experience to change unhelpful emotional and behavioral patterns. So, as with all biotech companies, I think it's really important that these kinds of companies have clinical trials that are moving along, and that these trials can help guide the way for eventually receiving FDA approval. With Compass Pathways, They are currently running a phase 2b clinical trial with their compound COMP360, and the results will be due at the end of 2021. After this, the company will begin on phase 3 trials, which should take another 2 years to complete. So yeah, this is definitely an exciting company that has built up a tremendous progression in these trials, but you still need to approach this from a long-term perspective, as these kind of things can take a long time. As for the financials, this company has about $196 million in cash at the end of Q3 2020, and in that quarter, the company earned nearly $17 million. And if they keep up with their current expenses, they will easily be able to keep going for another 3 years, no problem. And that's not even taking into account share dilution and raising capital from other investors. So overall, this company is actually looking really healthy financially, and I think you can easily expect to see this company grow over the next few years. And of course, with these types of companies, it's easy to get caught up in the disruptive nature of them. And while it's really exciting to see these kinds of psychedelic companies emerging, I think it's also important to not get too carried away with them. At the end of the day, Compass Pathways' main goal is to transform mental health care. And if they can provide their COMP360 drug and therapy and prove that it's more effective than SSRIs and other kinds of typical antidepressants, then this is a company that will revolutionize medicine and change how humans interface with both psychedelic drugs and each other. Thanks for listening, everyone, and until next time.